for you. I'm not a loctician, I'm not a hairstylist, I'm not an esthetician. Me know none of that something. Me just a girl who did my own locks, and I'm sharing with you what I do to maintain them. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Jess Alfia's channel. My name is Jess Alfia. I do makeup videos, I do lock videos, as well as other lifestyle videos for maturing women, tips and tricks to get through this life. All right, today's video is going to be about my locks, my mature mini locks. But let's start by defining what mini locks are. We're gonna get into choosing the size, how I chose my size, how I started, where I am in my journey, how I keep and maintain these locks, how sometimes you feel ostracized from other lock enveloped in crews, or I don't know what to call them, but we'll get more into that. So let's get into today's video, guys. All right, today's videos you'll be experiencing some montages. I'm doing a sit down to start by defining what micro locks are and the true sizing of them. If you want to start your micro locks, please research the journey. Please make sure that you know the sizing you want, and you know the density of your hair, know the porosity of your hair, know what your hair can manage, know if your hair will swell, know just get to know your hair over time while you're a new loose natural. Decide the parting that you're gonna go on. There are varying parting methods, there are varying grids. For me, I went rogue. I did my own hair and I started out with 2-strand twists. Now there are varying types of locks out there, but we're talking about the ones that we maintain. We're not talking about free form. It's not a religion for me personally, and I dabbled in retwisting, retying, doing the interlocking method as well as the twisting. So when you start, know how you want to start, whether you want to do coils, you want to start with interlocking, or the 2-strand twist. Again, I started with 2-strand twist, and I'll show you pictures of when I started. Now I started on clean, loose, natural hair. I just parted it rogue like I said, but there are persons who have different grids, diamond parting, etc. There are traditional mini locks as well as a sister locks, and those are two different entities. You'll see me measuring my hair in the clip that I'm going to be showing you. I'm measuring my parting, and I do not fall in the micro lock crew. Micro locks are like 0.5 inches to about 0.25 inches. My locks are, the partings are 0.75 and above. There are varying sizes because, like I said, I started out rogue. Now, as you can see, there is some length to my locks, and while you saw me doing the measurement, I do have thinning roots as well. My thinning roots come with age, it comes with genetics, and also over processing, because I do color my locks, and as you will see in the clip that I'll be showing with this voiceover, I colored my roots. I use a Bigen color system. It is a semi-permanent color. I do use color 37 just to give it a nice natural brown look, because traditionally my hair is brown, dark brown, so I wanted to stay in that family. I've tried varying things, which is why I do have some thinning, because we do too much with my locks, but that I digress. I did do some bleaching while they were in their younger stage, so this is the results of that. So we have that as well. Now, when you know the density of your hair, you'll have some idea of how the circumference of your locks will come out. I know that we do have lock envy, and we look at other people and we're like, this is how I want my locks to come out. But you will always be disappointed if you have that idea in your head alone. It will give you some form and idea of what it will look like, but will it be identical ever? No. If you know that you have dents here, the partings should probably be smaller if you're going for micro locks, because if you do partings like I have with a 0.75 inch size, then you will have more of a medium size circumference on the length of your locks. If you go smaller, then the diameter will be or circumference will be smaller. So these are things to consider when you're starting your lock journey for your micro locks. As I said before, traditionally I do not fall in the micro lock community because the sizing of the parting of my roots are a little bit larger. However, the diameter of the actual locks do fall in that community because I start on fine hair, which is what my hair actually is. All right, so let's go on to maintaining my micro locks. I still call them micro locks, cutting little. I started out with about 100 and I think 57 or 59 locks, and I added 4 extra locks at the back because the back were a little bit big, and then they started to pull, creating like tiny bumps. So I separated those extra parts out and created 4 locks at the back. So you'll see in terms of the length of my locks, these ones are a bit shorter than these. So you can see the difference in length there, but this is one of the newer locks that I did. Prior to starting my journey, I did lock one of the locks, and this is the initial one that I started out on. So I had an idea of, based on the size parting, what the circumference would be. Now there are varying sizes throughout my hair because, like I said, I went rogue on the parting. I didn't follow a grid. I did not do my research. Let's put it that way. I did not do my research. So I parted ad hoc, just part like mango, plait me hair routinely, and so I just followed just ad hoc parting. But if you want perfect grid, there are grids out there. I'll stick pictures up of different parting grids that you can choose. Now, how do I maintain my locks? I have different oils that I use. I have a mixture of oils that I've created with my thinning locks. I did put out a video and I got recommendation to do the MGM crystals, which are sulfur crystals that I put in my oil mixture bottles. I've also now added some cloves. The sulfur mixer helps with the regrowth. It helps with stimulating my roots, and it just helps with the growth process from the follicles, as well as the cloves. They also have some stimulating factors for my follicles, as well as their anti-inflammatory and disinfectant agents that help to keep my roots clean, and to kill any additional bacteria with sweat and stuff that can clog the pores and follicles. The oils that I use in that bottle for the most part are olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I use jojoba oil as well as Jamaican black castor oil. At times I will add sweet almond oil depending on what I can get my hands on that are in the most purest form on the market. I do not leave out Jamaican black castor oil because it helps to thicken my roots from the scalp area, from the front, the edges, and the scalp as well. Now again, a lot of my thinning is traditionally genetics, because when I look at my family members right here in the back of our head, both male and female, I see thinning. I remember my grandmother's here, my mom's here. I look at my brother's here and I see that thinning process. So some of that I cannot curtail, but if I take care of my hair gently, I know that I am able to overcome this issue somewhat. Other items I use to maintain my locks, I created a rose water. I picked the petals and I have a video, I'll put the iCards, where you will see me creating my rose water. I pick the petals, wash them, I boil water and on a slow heat, and I extract the nutrients from the petals, and this creates the rose water. Now I use pink or red petals, which is where the color will come from. I don't use any dyes or additives. Then I mix that rose water when it's cooled with some aloe vera juice. I buy this at Walmart customarily. I can put up the product in the description box below. I mix those two half and half, and this is what I use to moisturize my locks. When I style my locks in curls like this, I minimize the water because then it will cause the style to dissipate really quickly. But traditionally in the maintenance process at night, I will actually spray, and you will see the clips. I will spray my hair with the aloe and rose water mix. Then I add my oils to the roots. I will massage. I also use a chebe oil that I get from Walmart. I'm not able to see it now because it seems like people have gotten onto the product, so I get it from Amazon, and I'll put the product here. You'll see me applying it to my edges when I wash my hair. I utilize it to interlock as well. So when I have my hair ready to interlock, I will moisturize and I will go along the part, and I will use that chebe black castor oil mix as my base. I don't use any gels anymore because these can cause clogging of my pores as well as just causing buildup on the locks themselves. So again, I use a chebe oil to help to retie my locks, as well as just the everyday maintenance. Every 3 to 4 days, is when I will go in oil spray massage. Now when it is that my hair needs interlocking, I will do that process more frequently just to ensure that my roots remain moisturized, especially if I'm brushing it back a lot or styling it up in a bun. I tend to moisturize it more because my hair tends to get really crispy when it's not nicely moisturized and breaks easily. So I want to avoid that by keeping it nice and maintained and wonderfully moisturized. Now for some persons, I know they say oil causes drying up their hair. This is not the case for me, so do what's best for you. I'm not a loctician, I'm not a hairstylist, I'm not an esthetician. Me no none of that ain't something. Me just a girl who did my own locks, and I'm sharing with you what I do to maintain them. Alright, other things I do to maintain, from time to time I will use a protein treatment. Mostly I use that Affinity protein treatment. I'll put it on my dry locks, wash it out, then I apply the moisturizer, and then I will go on with whatever else I need to do. I may do that like 4 times for the year. I don't overdo it. I also, when I color my roots, I will use the K18, it ain't K9 child, but I think it's K18. I'll put the product here that I use on the actual roots and sometimes down the shaft and at the end where I have drying colored locks. All right, so I use that. It creates bonds, help to rebuild and repair the bonds of my hair shaft, not the locks itself, but my actual tiny hairs. So because I use chemicals in the coloring process, then I need to repair the bonds. So you'll see me in this clip using the K18 at my roots after I've colored to help to build and repair the bonds. Also, I use some leave-in conditioner at times, depending on how my hair feels. If it feels crunchy and not healthy, soft, bouncy like it does now, I will do some leave-in conditioner. For right now, I am currently using the Jamaican Black Castor Oil line from Shea Moisture, their leave-in conditioner. When I wash my hair, I just make sure if it feels crunchy and off before I do it, then I'll put that in to help with the building and repair of my hair, moisture, bounce, and texture. All right, let's go back to the thinning of my hair. Traditionally, I do have receding hairline on this side. This side is my problematic side, and so I have to handle it with literal kid's glove. I try not to apply much tension on here, so if you see me when I'm plaiting it, you notice for the entire hair I ensure that I have space. If I'm styling it with plaits or braids, I make sure I have a space in between to avoid tension on the roots. I tend to use a lot of protective styles. So for example, those plaits that I had in for like about 2.5 weeks, so I'm not overly manipulating my hair. Then I'll wear it down for probably about a week, and then I will wash it and then put it back in a protective style like plaits, braid backs, 2-strand twists, those sort of things that I don't have to overly style and manipulate my hair. When it was in a shorter form, it was much easier to style and move around, but as it has grown, I find it difficult to style. It is cute. Me love it. Me love the locks. Have been the best thing for me, but over time, as it grows, and it's harder to style, and that brings more tension on my root, causing more thinning. So I have to be careful. So I put it in a lot of protective styles. You'll also see me using gloves at times because my nails will snag. So if I feel like my nails are snaggy, even when I cut them, I use gloves to prevent the popping of the tiny hairs at the root. So I'm really cautious where that is concerned. So a lot of the times, except for when I'm coloring, if you see me, especially when my hair is wet, still in the glove styling it, that's to prevent snagging on my nails and popping the delicate hairs on my roots. Now again, I do a lot of massaging of the periphery, my hairline. I use gentle stuff to be, I was using the Got2b glue in the gel in the black bottle. I've stopped because it gets crispy and my hair can break. So I've found this one, which is nice and soft. As you can see, when I get out in the sun, my hair curls right back up. Or I use the Fenty Beauty from Rihanna's Edge Tamer to just tame the flyaways at the front. So that's how I care for my locks in general. All right, I use varying shampoos when I'm washing. I may use a detoxifying shampoo if I have not washed it for a long time and I realize that there's buildup sweat and buildup from the oils, or I will use just a regular moisturizing. I do like using the, why didn't I prepare this? Cream of Nature. I'll put up the bottle of what it looks like. And I also like the Wade detoxifying shampoo as well, but for something that is cost effective, Suave has a beautiful clarifying shampoo, and that helps to get your scalp nice and clean. It can be found at the dollar store, found in the supermarket, wherever shampoos are sold. That Suave shampoo is. It's nice, clear, light blue shampoo, very affordable, and it clarifies your hair beautifully. Now, if you've clarified your hair, you need to put the moisture back in. So make sure that when you follow those stages, use your fingertips to feel how your hair is feeling, and then do what's best for your hair during that routine that you are implementing. So let's go back how I do my maintenance of the roots. I do interlocking. I tried twisting, but when I twisted the roots, the weight on the loose, it would be almost like the weight on those loose hairs would still be too much. So when I do interlocking, it anchors it more to my scalp, and the weight is not as traumatic on the roots as it is with twisting. So I went right back to interlocking because I found that's what's the best way to keep my roots healthy and my scalp healthy, preventing thinning. So diet and health: drinks a lot of water. It will replenish the moisture in your skin, the moisture in your body naturally. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't know of anything to eat that will result in growth of my hair. There are supplements out there. I did use Weems for a small bit. Up to now, I haven't finished that bottle because sometimes I don't necessarily like using internal supplements because they're doing other things. So I backed off those supplements. I just use external stuff and drink enough water. All right. Be patient with your hair. Over time, you will learn how to take care of your locks. You'll read lots of stuff, but do what is unique and best for you. Like this morning, I noticed when I started taking out my plaits, my braids from my hair, I didn't have enough time. So you notice what I did? I put a scarf on, went out and did what I did. I didn't want to rush it, didn't want to tear it, because as the plaits were in over time, each of these fine loose hairs were intertwining, so I had to be careful. So oil your hands when you're removing plaits or twists from your hair to reduce friction. Be patient, take your time to remove them. If it is that you don't have the time, don't start interlocking, because when you get impatient, you tear at your roots. You have to have the time to be patient. Again, learn your locks, and over time you learn to do what is best for you. So this is the end of the video, taking care of my Mature Micro Locs, how I got into this lock journey, how I take care of my locks by moisturizing, being patient, just learning how my hair responds to different things. I hope you do the same for your locks as well. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And until next time, bye guys.